レクイエム。
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video, and today we're playing not Sims 3. I don't know what I was looking at. Not Sims 3. Today we're playing, man, if I can ever find it. Budokai 2. You guys don't really know how people hated this game. Like back when I was playing, people hated this game. This is my favorite Budokai game. Like hands down. This is my entirely favorite Budokai game and one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games of all time. See, the thing is, people never really gave this game a chance. I always liked how they try to do a little bit of different story. Like, I mean, for instance, stuff like this kind of was what led into Xenoverse. I mean, Xenoverse was a game that basically, you know, it had the events of like the regular show or the regular series, but it was in a different format, you know, and that's just one thing I really loved about this game in general. Alright, let's first start. I don't have a save game, so we're just gonna hit new game. Alright, here's the thing. Now we have Dragon World in this, but we're not gonna be playing Dragon World today. We're gonna be playing World Tournament just simply because I do want to do Dragon World. I want to continue it. If you guys don't know, I actually did a series a while back starting like Budokai 2. And I was doing like an all the way playthrough on Budokai 2. And I was having a lot of fun. But at the time, I didn't have a really good way to emulate it or a good way to actually play it. So there was a lot of issues with that. So now I actually have a good way to play it and emulate it. So, you know, we're going to be continuing that series. But let's go into the World Tournament, man. We're just going to reminisce about the old game. Alright, so for this tournament, first of all, now this, like I said, people hated this game. It was right after Budokai 1. Like Tenkaichi 1, I never really got to play Budokai 1. So for me, I didn't really care too much about how people felt about it. If I'm being deadly honest, like, I didn't really care, man. Like, I was excited, ready to play another game. Now, granted, this one actually might be my favorite one because I didn't get to play a lot of 3. I said in a story one time that basically 3 was stolen. No, 3 wasn't stolen, it was damaged inside my book bag. I was young and trying to bring my games to school and ended up getting them broken. So I actually never got to play 3, which is crazy. Alright, we're gonna go Gohan versus Krillin. Let's see. This game used to be fire, man. Like, this game used to be something different. Alright, okay. Okay, he's destroying me right now. Yeah, man, I definitely would say I used to love playing this, though. I used to get around with all my friends in the neighborhood and stuff. We used to just kind of run matches, you know. To me, that was the funnest experience. I feel like younger people today won't really get that experience. Not saying it's less enjoyable, just saying it's different. You know, you don't really get face to face and be with a friend of yours while y'all like kind of duking it out and trying to figure out who's the best Dragon Ball Z player. You know what I'm saying? That was when life was simple. Now it's a little bit different, man. It's like who got the best Fortnite skins or, you know what I'm saying, who got the best microtransactions. Games like these, they have microtransactions. If you wanted to get a character that to be better than somebody else or to look better than somebody else, a character you just thought was cooler than your friends, you had to actually go unlock them. You had to do hard stuff to actually unlock them. Like, you had to do challenges and stuff like that. That's the way that the games were just made back then. The reason why people say that there's no good games anymore is because that feeling of, you know, working real hard and getting like a certain character or a certain move or ability or whatever, it's kind of lost on today's games. It's like now, later on, you can just buy it as DLC. It's like back then, it was like they wanted to add something extra to the game. They did. And it just made the games just all around fun. Alright, man, we got Gohan versus Goku. I'm gonna be honest, man, I honestly could just kill these tournaments. Like, I'm even though I'm not really even that good, considering I'm playing on a different system. I'm playing a GameCube game on an Xbox controller, so forgive me if I don't know some of the controls. But look, this game itself wasn't a hard game. It wasn't especially hard, especially if you get to like a certain Boo part. Now I'm joking. That part was actually ridiculously hard. I think this game is known for having a crazy Boo saga. At least I remember so. I remember playing against Boo, and he was ridiculously hard to beat. Like, he was so hard to beat, like, controllers was broken. And I'm not generally angry at a game, but I was so angry. Like, there's only a few times that bosses have made me angry. It was the one boss in Final Fantasy 13 with the millions and millions of health. I think I died to him right when I was about to kill him. And then Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. Like, people don't really understand how hard games be now. I mean, back then, like, you talking about Elden Ring, man? Face Buu, you gotta beat him, and you're the only one that hasn't beat him yet. You don't know hard. And just another thing. Now, the ring outs is something that's a little bit interesting. Like, one thing about this game is that you could definitely get rung out and just lose everything. It's actually kind of depressing from being so myself. Like, I just literally lost my whole entire matches off of ring out, which is what I also rely on sometimes when I'm playing this. But this is only in the World Tournament stage, obviously. So let's talk about the game just a little bit more, man. Let's talk about the game. They put the game, the specifics, without going out and and literally hitting the button in 5 seconds, every 5 seconds. All right, man. Let's talk about Budokai 2. Let's just talk for a second. Let's just talk about the game. The game actually had a Monopoly style type board game where you basically move around, try to move the units. People really did not like this, and you know, if you go and see them later, then they might tell you that they did not like it, or they might tell you that they've always liked Budokai 2. But I remember back in the day, people hated the game. They felt like it was boring. They felt like the Monopoly mode was stupid. And I would actually agree if at that time I wasn't just so tired of playing every single boring version of the Dragon Ball Z story. Like, at least Naruto, they did it like one time. They chopped it up into all different stories. Like, so they did like Storm 1, Storm 2, Storm 3, and they just did the whole entire story. That was okay. But to have, like, if they didn't have stuff like Ultimate Ninja Chronicles and stuff, and Ultimate Ninja 3, where they actually changed up the story and gave you a unique, different type of story, it wasn't the best, but it was basically a filler story. And it was good enough to basically be interesting so that you wouldn't get bored of playing the same game over and over again with better graphics. This is the issue that Dragon Ball Z faced with a lot of the games, you know. A lot of the games just went, hey, we're going to follow GC Saga. Hey, we're going to follow this saga. Or we're going to go up to Cell. This game, like, I think Burst Limit went up to Cell. And Burst Limit was a great game. I'm definitely going to be playing that when I get my hands on it. Burst Limit is a great game, like, but yeah, that was generally what they did back then. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy ShoSaga back with another video, and today, man, we're talking about one of the best games ever known to man, Budokai 2. I know you guys hated this game. If I'm being real, I know you guys hated this game when you first started playing it. Me, I've always been a fan of Budokai 2. In fact, it is my favorite. I'm a little biased on that though. If you haven't watched my other video about this story about how I messed up, how I never got to play Budokai 3, I'll just basically give you a short version here. So basically, when I was young, I used to like show off games. So I used to like take the games with me to school, and at school I ended up like putting it in my backpack to, like, I don't know what it was, you know, maybe the other kids didn't have the game, or they didn't believe I had the game or whatever, but I somehow brought it to school only for it to be ruined, because what I didn't understand is that yeah, man, I had a lot of pencil shavers in my backpack, and they basically ruined the back of the game disc. So every time I went home and tried to put the disc in, it would always skip. I think that's probably one of the most horrifying things you could actually hear as a PlayStation owner. Like, to put your game inside the system, praying that it's gonna work, only for it to be skipping. Like, you can actually hear the death of your game just dying inside as you can't play it. Yeah, man, that was me though. That's probably the reason why I never got to play Budokai 3. Until a little bit later on in life when I could actually like get the game myself. So Budokai 2 being my favorite might be a little biased, that's all I'm saying. But the reason why other people didn't like this game is the reason why I like this game a lot. You know, me personally, I feel like a lot of the games try to go through the exact retelling of the original Saiyan to Majin Buu Saga. They try to get like the exact recount or retelling of it, and maybe like each game will add a little bit of different details that you haven't seen before, or have some way around to kind of play around that. But I actually do like the way the direction they took for this specific game. You know, they have like a Monopoly style, board game style of Dragon Ball Z. Was kind of an interesting concept. I mean, at the time, would I have thought of that? No, I really wouldn't have. But, you know, sometimes games like the Pioneer, sometimes games like to be a little bit different. And this is the reason why I ended up liking the game. Now, obviously, they didn't continue with this because they took it out in Budokai 3. But this is like when games used to be radically different. Since like now games, like you get a game and you'll play it, and the next game after that will be just the carbon copy of that game, just with updated like graphics a little bit of updated graphics, and they release the same game and call it a different version every year. It's crazy how many games do that now. Like, this game covered the Saiyan to Buu Saga, so you didn't really see Dragon Ball Z characters, like Dragon Ball GT characters in there. I think generally because I feel like a lot of games in Dragon Ball Z era tried to cover up GT. Because I remember being shocked and stunned that there was actually a Super Saiyan 4 Goku inside of like a GBA game. When I was younger, I didn't realize how old Dragon Ball Z really was, you know, because it came to us at a certain time, but it was already a thing over there in Japan. Let's talk about the game and like in itself. I actually did love the board game style of the game. It was a little bit of random, a little bit of wackiness. You know, they had characters that weren't even in that specific arc, and the arcs didn't always go down like they were supposed to go. But if I had to choose the one thing that I didn't like, I hated how they dealt with transformations and like certain characters and stuff. Cause sometimes you would have to do like very specific tasks to get your transformation. Like you have to move on the map so that Vegeta sees like Majin Buu, so he gets his final transformation explosion. Like it was really kind of difficult to, I won't say difficult, but it was definitely irritating to try to, you know, find how you can get these different Super Saiyans. So this is actually before the time of the internet, you know, really before the time of the internet. Like it wasn't really a prevalent thing then. I mean, now it makes a lot more sense to just kind of look it up and see what you're really getting yourself into. With that being said though, guys, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you feel like is your favorite Budokai game in general? Like me, it's obviously this one. I really can't explain to you why. Maybe I like the ideal of the board game, Dragon Ball Z. I feel like that was a unique twist on things. So yeah, this would probably be my favorite Budokai series. My favorite Dragon Ball Z game overall is definitely Tenkaichi 2. I think Tenkaichi 2 is the best Dragon Ball Z game ever made. Kind of really, honestly, if I'm being honest, kind of tied with Xenoverse. I feel like Xenoverse just had a lot of like people take Xenoverse for granted. Like Dragon Ball Z fans take Xenoverse for granted because we know it's always gonna be there. That's always gonna be like my number 2 or number 1 spot, Xenoverse, and then Budokai 2. Those games were fantastic games. And I don't want to go on for another tangent. So, like I said earlier, let me know which one is your favorite Budokai game. And let me know which one is your favorite Dragon Ball Z game in general. And thanks for watching, guys. Just like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next video.